shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Ring in the new year with a great deal on a pre-owned 4x4 truck or sport utility from Denny Menholt Toyota. Shop a great selection of 4x4s and all-wheel drives from Ford, GMC, Nissan, Ram, Jeep, Subaru, and more. Plus, shop the area's best selection of used Toyotas and Toyota Certified Pre-Owned. Buy any Toyota Certified Pre-Owned, and we'll give you a $500 Visa gift card. Spend it any way you want. See us at Denny Menholt Toyota or DennyMenholtToyota.com.
Now that we're in the final quarter of the year, it's time to start thinking about the 2022 tax year. W-2s and 1099s are scheduled to be out in January, but don't worry, Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping Services has you covered. They stay on top of the ever-changing tax laws impacting small businesses and corporations. Jennifer Young's Bookkeeping has your best interests at heart. Don't wait until the last minute. Get a head start on your 2022 taxes. Call Jennifer Young or go to jenniferyoungsbookkeeping.com or find her on Facebook.
FS1.
Makers. When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family-owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years' experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota.
Welcome to this live presentation of South Dakota High School basketball on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and streaming online at foxsportsrapidcity.com. This is your home for the best coverage of local sports in the Black Hills. And now we take you live to the Anytime Auto Sales broadcast booth.
And good evening and welcome to Carroll Hire Gym in Rapid City. Tonight we wrap up our coverage of high school basketball action on Fox Sports Rapid City this weekend as we feature round 2 of the Rapid City rivalry. The boys take center stage tonight as the Rapid City Stevens Raiders host the Rapid City Central Cobblers. Hi everyone, and thanks again for spending part of your weekend with us. I'm Jerome Wickersham along with Dean Gurr. Welcome to the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. For the highest quality work and hassle-free customer service, let J&J take the stress away and get your vehicle back on the road. That's J&J Truck and Auto Body on East Philadelphia Street in Rapid City. So the basketball season is entering its final month of the regular season. As teams work to finish the regular season strong, we feature 2 ball clubs that are hoping to both make a move in the overall standings here in the final month of the season. Rapid City Stevens has won 3 straight to run their overall record to 6-6 on the season. Meanwhile, Rapid City Central saw their 3-game win streak come to an end Thursday night when they lost to Spearfish. Now the Cobblers have a record of 5 wins and 6 losses, and the Raiders are 13th in the AA standings, while the Cobblers are 14th. So a chance to move up for both of these teams. Dean, and not only is this a rival game, but like we said, it really means a lot as they enter the home stretch of the season.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You're talking about momentum just rolling along. Central had that amazing momentum and just could not get the job done on Thursday night. But they looked kind of like we've been seeing over the past few games, just kind of everything kind of heading in the right direction. Their guard play is just outstanding. And so they got it all together, or heading in the right direction, we'll say that. And it's going to look a whole lot different than it did the first time these two came together. And going to the Raiders, trying to figure out what does he have to do to get shots to fall, to get them to play together as a team. They're uber talented, plenty of playmakers on the court in all different areas. They just can't seem to put things together when they need consistently, night in and night out. Some nights you got some great matchups. They played great against Mitchell, played great against Jefferson, but just couldn't get those wins. And then you got those nights where they struggled against Sturgis, but managed to get the win at the last second. So it's not that they're trying to find their identity. It's they're just trying to figure out how to play together, to get together, to cruise through the month of February and get to the Big Sodak 16 at the beginning of March.
And there's a lot of big games coming up in the month of February for both of these two teams. The first time these two teams met, it was Rapid City Stevens defeating Rapid City Central on their home court. 48-26 was the final. You look at the Raiders, they swept Watertown and Brookings last weekend, and against the Bobcat, senior Daylor Segrist finished with 28 points, knocking down 7 3-pointers. The senior is averaging 15.5 points per game, and really the Raiders are looking to get above 500 for the first time this season if they can get the win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot is relied upon their big 3. You already talked about Daylor Segrist, 7 of 9 in the first half, just absolutely shooting the ball lights out. You love it when that happens because it's just keep feeding him and keep feeding him and keep feeding him, and he got it, and he was on a roll. You know, usually he gets like a part of a quarter or maybe a quarter where he does great. He did the whole half, just absolutely lights out from downtown. Didn't show up much in the second half, but that was okay. They were kind of on cruise control, so to speak, and well in front of that game against the Brookings. But you got the other part of their big 3. Minka Hawley's been kind of intermittent, in and out. He plays well. He's athletic, but his basketball skills, playing as a basketball player, he's still kind of trying to reel those in. Caleb Brooks is playing great for a small big man, if you will. He's kind of their big man, muscles in the paint and everything. for Coach Stabler to try to get all three of those to play together and then to try to get some other X factor to come in and help out and really be an effective player for them is going to be the challenge of Coach Stabler as they move through the month of February. And speaking of the big three, the first time they met the Cobblers, all three scored in double figures. In fact, they combined for 36 of the Raiders' 48 points in that first meeting. Again, this is the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. As for the Central Cobblers, they suffered a heartbreaking loss to Spearfish 2 nights ago, and they hope they can get back on track tonight. Gilbert White Jr. had 26 points against the Spartans, and he's really elevated his play in about the last 5 games or so. It's great to see White's play and how he has really energized his teammates.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I called him this last time. He is a freak of nature. The way he gets out there and plays, for a little guy, he can move so well. He has such good body control, and just God has really blessed him with some great athletic ability, and he's using it on the court. And then that, like we talked about, that athleticism feeds everyone else. Junior Allen's games got elevated. Preston Yellow, who's now, I believe, getting his 3rd or 4th start tonight, has really elevated his game. They all play together. Julius Duran coming in, doing what he does. So they've got not the big 3. I think they've got the big 4. They've got their 3 guards. Julius Duran, who's more of a kind of a 3 player. And like Coach Hayes said last time when I ran into him in the hallway, he's like, you know what? We are one big guy away from being a really good team. And I agree with that. I was watching that Brookings game, and they had a guy. This guy was a monstrosity out there, and he played booty ball to the best. You fed it to him, and he just backed you down without any hesitation and threw the ball in. I'm surprised they didn't do that constantly the whole game. And really, the Raiders, they had no answer to that. And for the Cobblers, it's kind of the same way. They don't really have that answer, that insight. So you got 2 teams inside who don't really have a big to really kind of take care of that part of the game. So it'll be an interesting matchup tonight as far as that goes. But as far as going down the road for the Cobblers, they're going to have to try to figure out how to put something like that together to be able to compete with some of those other teams that are athletic and big. Again, we're just a little under 5 minutes before the tip-off here tonight as our J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show rolls on. Let's see what each team needs to do to pull out a victory here tonight at Carroll Hire Gym. Today's keys to the game are brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. You can find the key to building lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. Just take a look at their great selection of RVs at 2 locations, Dakota Discount RV, across from Cabela's on JB Road in Blackhawk, and find them online at DakotaDiscountRV.com. Well, we'll start with kind of the top of the list, even though we're not going to talk about it that much. It's the usual. You got to make sure you take care of the basketball. You got to crash the boards. You got to knock down shots. Okay, that's going to be both teams right there. Then you get down to the next couple ones, and you talk about matchups. How are these teams going to match up? They got some interesting differences in how you match up. Well, first of all, for the Raiders, how do you stop Gilbert White Jr.? I don't know that you can stop him. Maybe you try to contain him. You're going to have to guard him on the perimeter because he can shoot lights out from distance, and he can drive the lane with the best of them. So you got to be able to get help from the backside. The Raiders probably worked on that all week as the Cobblers had to play Spearfish and had to focus on that. Raiders probably worked on what they have to do in that aspect. For the Cobblers, it's the same kind of scenario. How is their matchup going to work against the Raiders? Holly, an incredible player out there, hasn't quite been playing up to his standard lately. Can he do that? Can they keep Daylor Seagrass out of the game? He's kind of the shooter. He's what you talk about a 2 guy. He can really he's decent as far as getting into the lane, but he can shoot the ball lights out when he gets hot. Can they identify when that's going to happen and make sure they get a hand in his face? And how is the inside matchups going to be? Can they get some switches? Can they create a mismatch where they can take advantage? Both teams the Cobblers run more than the Raiders do necessarily,
So there's not going to be a lot of backcourt pressure too much in that. But points off turnovers are going to be big. But who matches up with who, we're going to talk about that all night long. And that's our keys to the game, being brought to you by Dakota Discount RV. From there, we look at today's players to watch, powered by the E3 Sports Complex. E3 is Rapid City's newest indoor sports facility, featuring 4 full courts for basketball and volleyball. Have your athlete unlock their full potential with expert training and coaching from the E3 trainers and coaches. Learn more and get your athlete started by visiting e3sports.org. Check out the E3 Sports Complex on East North Street in Rapid City. Yeah, and I think I talked about this last time, but we'll start with the Cobblers, the visiting Cobblers. I think Preston Yellow is such an impact player. All the lights are going to focus on Gilbert White Jr., and then you've got Junior Allen, who is really just kind of a nudge below Gilbert White Jr. in some of his abilities in that. But then all of a sudden, here comes this mismatch for the Raiders. They don't have a third guard who can guard Preston Yellow. If Preston Yellow can kind of take off tonight, he's going to be a huge factor for the Cobblers tonight. And I think inside now, I don't know if it's going to be Dalton or Dylan Sabansky, whatever it is on the inside, one of those two, their inside ability, if they can take care of the inside part for the Raiders, can elevate their game so they can contribute really well offensively, that could turn the tables for the Raiders. And that's our players to watch, powered by the E3 Sports Complex. Again, you can visit them at e3sports.org or check out the E3 Sports Complex on East North Street in Rapid City. Again, we are moments away from the tip-off here this evening between the 6-6 Rapid City Stevens Raiders and the 5-6 Rapid City Central Cobblers. Again, for the Raiders, they come in, like I said, with a 3-game win streak. They're 3-4 here at home. For the Rapid City Central Cobblers, they have not played a lot of road games. They're, in fact, only 1-1 on the road. They started the year with a road trip to eastern South Dakota, Pierre and Aberdeen Central. They split games there. Then they played the rest of their games at home. So this is just really the second or the third game that the Cobblers have played on the road this year. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting schedule. They have that, and of course the Cobbler girls played their first road game last night here. So and it's not like February where they're gone all month. They're gone next weekend, and I think then they're home a lot after that. So they are. Just somehow Jordan Bauer's done something to schedule a whole lot of home games. So kudos to him. Absolutely. So, again, we're going to pause for the national anthem here on our J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show. We'll pause for 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll take a look at the starting lineups, and we'll get you ready for the tip-off between the Raiders and the Cobblers when we return in 2 minutes, right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
At Dakota Discount RV, our mission is to make your RV experience fun and easy by providing quality recreational vehicles, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. We're proud to offer the finest names in RVs. Our big inventory of fifth wheels, travel trailers, and toy haulers allow us to save customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Come see us at either of our 2 locations, 3330 East Mall Drive, Rapid City, or 11200 JB Road, exit 48, Somerset.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Would you buy your insurance from a cartoon character?
What's up, Doc?
Cartoons are good for a laugh, but when you're in an accident or you need your home covered and need help, it's no laughing matter. That's why you need a real person like Lance at Van Zee Insurance Associates. It's not just simple insurance either. Lance has you covered with home, life, auto, and business. Banzi Insurance is your place to call. Stop by today or give Lance a call at 605-393-2399.
Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers is a trusted real estate advisor in the Black Hills. She brings precision, dedication, and clear communication to every transaction. Melissa focuses on service, not sales, always putting her clients first. She's also passionate about supporting local youth activities, helping to strengthen communities and build a brighter future for our kids. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Melissa is here to guide you every step of the way. Stop in or call Melissa Christensen with Engel & Volkers today.
You're listening to South Dakota High School basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center.
And welcome back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium on this Saturday night, right here on Fox Sports Rapid City with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Welcome back to the J&J Truck and Auto Body pregame show presented by J&J Truck and Auto Body. The crowd continues to come in. They pulled out extra bleachers tonight. Probably a little bit bigger crowd than what we had last night for the girls' game.
Yeah, a little bit. A little elbow to elbow down here in the student section and the Cobbler, Raider, Parent section, and whatever section that is over there.
Well, let's take a look again at the starting lineups. Again, the Raiders come in 6-6 on the season. The Cobblers are 5-6 on the season. The Raiders have won 3 in a row coming into this ball game. Let's take a look at today's starting lineups built by Connect Home Center and Ace Hardware. Whether it's residential or commercial, Connect Home Center has been your hometown lumber yard since 1928. And Ace Hardware. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. For the Rapid City Central Cobblers, their starting lineup looks like this. Number 0, Junior Allen, a 5'8" senior guard, averaging 10 points per game. Number 3, Preston Yellow, a 5'8" junior guard who's just got into the starting lineup, like Dean said, 3 or 4 games now that he has been starting. Number 11, Gilbert White Jr., a 5'11" senior guard, averaging 21.5 points per game. Number 12, Julius Duran, a 6'4" junior forward. And number 21, Waylon Benbow, a 5'11" junior forward. Head coach for the Cobblers in his 10th year is T.J. Hay. And now for the home team, the Rapid City Stevens Raiders. They will go with number 0, J.D. Green, a 5'11" senior guard. Number 2, Minka Hawley, a 6'4" senior guard forward, averaging a little better than 13 points per game. Number 11, Daylor Segrist, a 6'3" senior guard, averaging 15.5 points per game. Number 20, Caleb Brooks, a 6'2" senior forward, averaging 9.9 points per game. And number 25, Dylan Szymanski, a 6'4" senior center. Head coach for the Raiders is Chris Stabner, also in his 10th year. Let's meet our officials for this ball game. The law on the court brought to us by the South Dakota Attorney General's Office, Division of Consumer Protection. Today's officials are Ellen Schmaltz, Joe Beeler, and Paul Whitcraft.
Nice veteran, experienced, state-level crew out here tonight.
The Raiders will be in their home white uniforms with the blue numbers, while the Cobblers in their visiting black uniforms with red numbers. It'll be Holly and Duran in the middle to tip things off. Huge crowd here tonight at Carroll Higher Gym. And this game is underway. The tip controlled by the Raiders, going from left to right into the hands of J.D. Green. He hands it off to Daylor Segrist. Right side, they go to Holly on the wing. Holly back to Brooks, top of the key. Brooks picks up his dribble, hands the ball off to Segrist. He drives now left corner. Green fires the 3, and that's good for J.D. Green.
What a great start. J.D. Green, he shoots a fair amount of threes, doesn't hit a lot of them, cashes that one in.
Allen, left side, they go to White, being guarded by J.D. Green now in the corner. That three is no good for Preston Yellow. Szymanski grabs the rebound. Out the pass goes to Segrist. He'll get into the front court. Sends it to Brooks. Brooks gets in the lane. Shuffles his feet there. A travel on Brooks. I'm not sure. He may have hesitated whether he was going to either pass or make his cut to the basket. Well, he went right at Duran, and Duran kind of pulled the chair out. He's expecting to play the contact as Brooks, and Duran kind of backed off, and that caused that travel. Allen to Duran now. As again, as the Cobblers go from right to left. Benbow wide open for three. That one is no good. It's tapped out to Szymanski. He'll give the ball to Hawley in the front court. Hawley spins along the baseline. Now spins back to his right. Puts up the shot. It is short, no good. Segrist the rebound. That shot is no good, but David Segrist heads to the free throw line for the Raiders.
Yeah, we got to talk about matchups right away. J.D. Green covering Gilbert White Jr. This isn't a knock on J.D. Green, but I'm sorry. Gilbert is an extreme athlete. I would be surprised that Minka Hawley is not guarding him. And coming back the other way, you had Minka Hawley. Benbow was all over him. Hawley recognized that and said, you know what, I can get by. You know, Benbow's a great football player, but not a basketball type. Taylor Segrist shooting 79% from the free throw line. Misses both free throws. Still a 3-0 Raider lead. 6:45 to go here in the first. This is Yellow, hands the ball to Ellen. Ellen looking inside, now dribbles to the right side, puts up the shot. That's a little off, no good. Green pushes the ball into the front court. They go to Hawley on the left wing. He spins again into the corner, sends it out to Brooks. Now they go to Green. Man-to-man defense. Here's Green to that left wing. He's going to drive the baseline. Kicks it outside. The Segrist is going to be stolen, though. Stepping into the path is White. He goes coast to coast and lays it in for two. And it just floats off his hand like a cloud. 1 point Raider lead. 3-2 on the State Farm scoreboard with 6 minutes remaining here in quarter number one. Here's J.D. Green. Gives the ball to Brooks. Brooks drives now. Puts up the shot. That one no good. And we're going to get an offensive foul on Caleb Brooks. Yeah, Gilbert White Jr. Brooks went right in there, but White is standing right there. I thought he probably thought he could get over him without doing anything, but I'll tell you what, Gilbert White is so good at drawing the charges and hitting the floor. That's the first on Caleb Brooks, first team foul for the Raiders. They get it to Yellow, top the key, right side to Ellen. Ellen on the wing, dribbles to the top of the key, now crossover dribble, right side, they go to Yellow. Yellow around the screen, pulls up from the elbow, shoots the jumper, and that one in for Preston Yellow. Down and out, back in, backboard, back down. Cobblers take the lead for the first time tonight, 4-3. Here's Szymanski, double team, there's the reverse. It is no good, but Szymanski heads to the charity stripe. You can see that the Cobblers and Coach Hay recognize what Szymanski can do down low. Our player to watch tonight for the Raiders, he's instantly double-teamed, and then he's triple-teamed, fights through it, gets the foul, and now he's to the line.
Waylon Benbow called for his second team foul, and Szymanski misses the free throw. So the Raiders, as a team, they are 0 for 3 from the charity stripe. Szymanski just a 53% free throw shooter. Here's the second free throw attempt. That one is no good. It's in the hands of Ellen. So the Raiders now 0 for 4 from the free throw line. 1 point Cobbler lead. Here's Yellow, the basketball on the wing. Gets around the screen, gets to the elbow, hands the ball off. There's the jumper in the lane by Gilbert White Jr. No good. Brooks the rebound. They go to Segrist. Now to Hawley in the front court. Hawley gives the ball to Brooks. Short jumper, no good. Duran the rebound for the Cobblers.
I tell you what, nothing's falling here.
Here's Duran in the front court. He'll hand the ball off to Ellen. Ellen, top of the key. Rolls to the left side. Bounce pass to Gilbert White. White around the screen, gets to the wing. He'll pass to Duran. Duran, guarded by Brooks, gets in the lane, backs his way in. Quick shot. That one is no good. It's tapped into the hands of Hawley. Hawley to Brooks, now to Green. Still a 1 point Cobbler lead. 4.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Brooks to Szymanski, and a travel on Szymanski.
Yeah, he has that bewildered look on his face, but I think he was expecting Hawley to kind of come around a little bit more, and he was ready to pass it and then kind of kept going.
Allen works his way into the front court. As he jogs across the timeline, they go to Duran. Over to White Jr. on the wing. White wanted to drive, being guarded by Green. Back to Duran. Now bounce pass over to Allen. Allen, top of the key. Gets around the screen of Binbo. They get it to Binbo in the lane. Binbo spins to his right, puts up the jumper. That's no good. Allen tried to tap it out. Instead, Holly comes away with it. Holly in the front court. Takes a step back, gives the ball to Segrist. Almost stolen. It's knocked out of bounds, though, by Gilbert White Jr.
Gilbert White Jr., I think he's kind of sinister a little bit because he's kind of planning. You see him sprint sometimes, and sometimes he kind of jogs, but it's almost like his head is formulating what's going to happen. He did that against Spearfish. He kind of jogged, and then all of a sudden his arm was in the right spot. He got a steal and got a dunk at the other end.
Jess Christensen checks in, number 33. He's 6'4" senior for the Raiders. Here's Green, passes off to Christensen, but it goes right through his hands and out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know if Christian was expecting it or something. It looked like a decent pass, but he just didn't get his hands. That kind of happened last Saturday against Brookings. Had some opportunities, just couldn't hang on to the ball.
Caden Matthew, a 6'2" senior, as well as Braden Isler, a 6'4" junior, checking in for the Cobblers. Tonight was senior night here for the boys. They moved that up. So it was senior night, and they recognized the seniors before tonight's ball game. Here's Matthew out to White. White around the screen to the left side. There's the floater, and the paint is good for Gilbert White Jr. He has 4 points.
Again, he just can create his own separation, his own movement, and the soft touch.
Here's Green, top of the key. It's a 3-point Cobbler lead. Green to Brooks. Brooks on the wing. Bounce pass to Holly. Double team to the low post. Spins to the baseline. Gets the basket. +1 for the Raiders.
Again, I've said it in the past that I think Minka Holly is the most athletic player on the court. Maybe not necessarily the best basketball player, but he's got tons of athleticism. I think tonight, Gilbert White Jr. is going to eclipse him. Not to take anything away from Holly. What he does is amazing, but Gilbert White Jr. is just something else.
Holly shooting 53% from the free throw line, misses that free throw. So again, the Raiders are 0 for 5 from the charity stripe. Allen drives, has the ball taken away by Christensen. But then it's stolen by White. White, the Euro step, the shot is up, no good. Allen chases down the loose ball to keep it alive for the Cobblers. A 1-point lead for the Cobblers with 2:40 to go in the quarter. They go to White in that left wing. He gets around the screen, gets in the lane. There's the floater. That one just off the side of the iron, no good. Holly the rebound, outlet pass to Segrist. Segrist works his way into the front court on the right wing. Being guarded by White, cross-court pass. They go to Green. Green to Holly, wide open from the corner. That one is no good, an air ball by Holly.
It was almost too open or something. I don't know what it was. The Cobblers went to that zone defense and lost Holly in the corner.
Here's White, gets around the screen, fires the three, and then air ball at the other end by Gilbert White Jr.
I don't know what's up to that. I'm thinking a 6-5 score here in a boys' game.
Just under 2 minutes to play. Here's Segrist the basketball. They get it to Holly in the low post. He'll feed Brooks. Brooks pump fakes, and then he fakes it in for 2.
You got to watch him on film. He just does a great job of drawing the defense in. Duran wasn't sucked in, held his ground.
The Raiders get the lead 7-6 with 1:40 to go in the quarter. Duran right side. Allen will shoot the 3 from the corner, and it's good for Junior Allen. Just like that, the Cobblers retake the lead 9-7 on the State Farm scoreboard. 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Here's Brooks, top of the key. Drives to the right. Pull-up jumper in the lane. No good. Christensen, the offensive rebound, keeps it alive. They go to Holly, now to Segrist. He's going to shoot the 3, and it's good for Taylor Segrist.
You know, they all love that. Again, last Saturday, he was Mr. Lights Out.
7 3-pointers in last Saturday's game. Junior Allen at the other end shoots the 3. That rolls around the rim, in and out, no good. J.D. Green works his way into the front court. It's a 1-point Raider lead. They'll send it to Brooks, now right side to Holly. Holly back to Green, who sets up the offense. They'll go back to Holly. Out to Segrist, now left side to Green. Green's going to shoot the long 3. That one bounces high off the rim, no good. Isler the rebound, outlet pass to White. Now he goes to Allen with 33 seconds remaining. Just about 2-second differential in the shot clock and the game clock. Right side, White the basketball. White drives in the lane. Out to Duran. Duran in the paint, the running jumper. That's no good for Duran.
Too early in the count there. They had plenty of time to move the ball around. Now they're going to give the Raiders a chance.
Raiders could hold for the final shot, down to 10 seconds now. Green into the front court. Left side to Holly on the wing. Holly back to Green. Green into the corner. Taylor Segrist shoots the three. He is fouled.
Absolutely whacked.
Taylor Segrist gets helped up after hitting the deck, and he heads to the charity stripe.
I mean, he's back in the corner. There's two Cobblers there. It's like, just get your hand up and make him shoot over it.
That's Caden Matthew with his fourth team foul. 3 free throws for Taylor Segrist, who's 0 for 2.
I tell you what, and those free throws just keep mounting and mounting for the Raiders. I think they've lost several games this year. I'm thinking of the Jefferson game. They hit a couple of free throws there. That game changes. The one where they had the out of bounds that they were complaining about, that game would have changed too. That might be the same game that I'm thinking of.
Segrist, after his 4th attempt, makes his first free throw, has 4 points in the ball game. We're going to get some substitutions. Seth Pa, the 5'11 junior, as well as Lucas Marcus into the ball game. And Szymanski back in. 1 second remaining in the first quarter. Here's the free throw. It is good for Taylor. Cobblers, they get it into Ellen. He's going to launch it from midcourt, and it hits the back of the iron.
Wow. At least it's a nice shot there, but interesting quarter. Definitely very interesting. We talked about offenses and scoring and all that stuff, and it ended up being kind of a defensive struggle with shooting down for this quarter at least.
So on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, after 1 quarter of basketball, Rapid City Stevens leads Rapid City Central 12-9 is your score. We'll step aside for 1 minute. You're listening to high school basketball on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
And welcome back to Carroll Hire Gym on this Saturday evening with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham as we welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. It is a 3-point Raider lead, 12-9. We're 30 seconds into the second quarter. This is Marcus, and he gets called for the travel. He tried to drive the right baseline, and it's kind of like he got the chair pulled out from under him.
Yeah, like that. He tried to stop and head back the other direction. Gilbert White Jr.'s feet are so fast, he got over there quickly to cut him off, and he didn't know what to do.
John Smith is checked in for the Cobblers. Here's White, though, with the basketball. Right side, yellow, thought about a three. Being guarded by Segrist, he drives into the left corner. Smith shoots the three. That is good for Sean Smith. We are tied at 12 apiece. 1 minute gone by here in the second. Segrist in the front court. Left side to go to Marcus. Marcus on the wing. Back to Christensen. Now right side to Segrist. He pump fakes, drives. Backdoor pass. The shot is up, and it is good for number 21, Dalton Szymanski. Back to a 2-point Raider lead. 6:40 to go in the second. Duran on that left wing. Drives. Tried to split the defenders. Lost the ball. We're going to get a whistle there from Ellen Schmaltz.
Yeah, the backside official. Coach Stabner's trying to talk to him and say, well, he had his hands straight up. They always say that. They had his hands straight up, and I think he kind of got them over and tangled a little bit on that one.
That is Jess Christensen with his first. And the first team foul for the Raiders. Again, Duran at the free throw line. He misses that first free throw. Neither team really shooting free throws all that well so far in this ball game.
Yeah, the offensive outpouring is just not outpouring.
Duran had 9 points the first time these two teams met. Here's the second free throw. That one is no good.
That just fires up the Raider crowd trying to derail him.
Here's Seth Paw on the front court. He'll give the ball to Segrist. Segrist left side. They get it to Szymanski. Back to Segrist. Segrist. And there's Marcus from the right side, and he knocks down the tray.
Boy, has he been a welcome addition. We didn't see much of him early on in the season. Then he's kind of quietly got in there, added some good points.
And just a sophomore for the Raiders. Yellow drives at the other end, puts up the shot. That one is no good as he hits the deck. Raiders come away with it. Segrist in the front court. Segrist wanted to drive the baseline. Instead, he gives it to Marcus. Marcus bounce pass to Brooks, now to Segrist. Wide open from the corner. That one a little too strong, no good. Brooks the rebound. Had the ball knocked out of his hands, and then Sean Smith loses it. So Junior Allen comes back in. He replaces Sean Smith. Also, Minka Hawley comes in, replacing number 21, Dalton Szymanski. Segrist will trigger it in from the left baseline. Segrist to Hawley in the low post. He'll back his way in. Now he takes a step back. Fadeaway jumper, good for Minka Hawley.
And, Julius Duran, he was going to keep him from going inside, but as soon as he turned around and did that fadeaway, Duran just kind of looked at him, stuck a hand up, and said, I'll give it a try. But
White to Bindle along the right baseline. Cross-court pass to Allen. Allen drives the left baseline. Gives the ball to White in the corner. That one is no good. Brooks chases down the loose ball, pushes it ahead to Hawley in the front court. 7-point Raider lead, 19-12. Here's Hawley. Man-to-man defense by the Cobblers. They go to Segrist, now to Marcus. Marcus back to Paw, top the key, drives to his left. Gives it back to Marcus. Marcus to Paw on the left wing. Crossover dribble. Gives the ball to Segrist. 6 seconds on the shot clock. And a travel on Taylor Segrist as he tries to split the defenders.
Yeah, he got caught up right there, tried to do a great-looking dance routine if you're going to get that going here, but it's a travel in basketball.
So right now the Raiders outscoring the Cobblers in this quarter 7-3. Here's Duran, left side they go to Preston Yellow. Yellow back to Duran. Bounce pass to Allen. Allen gets to the top of the key. We see man-to-man defense by the Raiders. Now left side they go to Duran. Duran around the screen. Drives, puts up the shot. An offensive foul on Julius Duran. That's number 2 on the junior.
You like the aggressiveness of Duran to try to get in there and get to the rim, but I think, I don't know, if he can see Gilbert White Jr. do it, but he gets around the defender so well, and Duran doesn't quite have that.
So now J.D. Green, the basketball for the Raiders. Back to a pass to Hawley, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Owen Bissonette, who's checked in, the 6'4 junior for the Cobblers. It'll stay Raider basketball. J.D. Green will trigger it in from the right baseline. Green having trouble getting it in. Finally sends it out to Marcus. Marcus top of the key. In the lane. Had the ball knocked out of his hands and stolen by White. Here comes White in a hurry into the front court. Drives. There's the shot. And it rolls around the rim. No good for White.
Great looking double clutch. It just could. Normally those are falling. This is not Gilbert tonight.
Here's Green. Into the left corner. Hawley's going to launch the three, and it's nothing but net for Minka Hawley. And Coach A wants a timeout.
Yeah, he's got to get a timeout. Right now, just the shots that have been falling for the Cobblers the last 4 or 5 games are just not doing it right now. It isn't that it's poor. It's just, they're just not there tonight as of right now.
So we have a 30-second timeout for head coach T.J. Hay of the Rapid City Central Cobblers. On the State Farm scoreboard with 3:58 to go in the second quarter, the Raiders have raced out to a 22-12 lead over Rapid City
Yeah, we've seen just the Raiders being able to knock down the shot that they need. That's happened early on. In fact, a very anemic first quarter. A little bit better here the second quarter, at least for the Raiders anyway. But it's just not the big night for shooting. And unfortunately, right now for the Cobblers, it just kind of continues. Everyone's numbers still kind of low.
A 10-3 run this quarter for the Raiders as they lead by 10. Here's Allen in the front court, left side to Yellow. Yellow gives it to White. White takes a step back, fadeaway jumper is good for Gilbert White.
You knew it wouldn't last long.
He has 6 points. It's an 8-point Raider lead, 22-14. Micah Holly walks into the front court, being guarded by Yellow. Holly, top of the key. Gives the ball to Green. Now they work it to Brooks. Into the left corner, Segrist driving the baseline, and he's going to put it in
the other way.
Two.
Oh, we're going to get a block.
They're going to call a blocking foul. They'll count the basket +1. A blocking foul on Preston Yellow.
And I think Taylor Segrist got the wind knocked out of him running over Yellow. It's hard because Yellow got there, but I think Segrist jumped up earlier, and then Yellow tried to kind of scoot under there and draw that charge.
So Segrist at the free throw line. They'll count the basket. 7 points in this ball game. He's hit 2 of 5 free throws. Make that 3 of 6 now. 8 points now for Segrist. 25-14, the largest lead for the Raiders. Checking into the ball game, we have Logan Soderlund. Here's White for 3. That's no good. Segrist grabs the rebound. Segrist into the front court for the Raiders. Segrist right side. They go to Marcus. Marcus dribbles around the perimeter. Marcus right side to Holly. And we're going to get a hold. This looks like it's going to be on the Cobblers.
Yeah, it's going to be on Preston Yellow again. That's the
second on Yellow. Third team foul this quarter. Yellow will exit. Sean Smith checks in for him. Taylor Segrist will trigger it in from the left baseline. Segrist to Holly. They work it into Brooks. Brooks turnaround jumper, no good. White the rebound. White for the Cobblers pushes the ball to Smith in the front court. Back to White, now left side. They get it to Soderlund. Soderlund had the ball knocked out of his hands, able to gather it back up. They give the ball to Smith. Now to White, back to Allen. 19 seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time. And it looks like an illegal screen on Binbo. That is number 2 on Waylon Binbo. 4th team foul for the Cobblers.
Right, and right now the Cobblers are just absolutely in a disarray right now. They can't get anything together offensively. I don't know, just foul trouble. Here's Brooks on the elbow to Segrist. Segrist around the screen. Wanted to drive. Tries to work it inside to Marcus. He does, and he fakes it in for 2. Again, taking advantage. Sean Smith doesn't get a lot of time. Here's Binbo. He pump fakes at the other end. The shot is no good for Binbo. Is that the epitome of the night for the Cobblers right there? Point blank, and he misses.
That has been the way it has been this first half for the Cobblers. 27-14, a 13-point Raider lead. Marcus to Holly. Holly on the wing, out to Segrist. He's going to launch the 3. That one no good. The rebound into the hands of Allen. Allen, right side, and then Holly gets the steal. Holly to Marcus. The alley-oop pass to Holly, and he gets upended.
They were going for the alley-oop. It was a good feed, good work, except for there was somebody right there underneath who got it was a Soderlund, I think?
I think it was.
It was kind of right underneath it. Again, they're a little too early. I can see Coach Stabler thinking, guys, just make the basket, please. Just make the basket. I mean, he would have obviously electrified the crowd and everything had he gone up and made that one. But
we'll have Logan Soderlund gets called for his first 5th team foul. Micah Holly continues to struggle from the free throw line. He's just a 53% free throw shooter, but he's 0 for 2 from the charity stripe in this ball game. still a 13-point Raider lead. Second free throw attempt is good. 8 points now for Minka Hawley. Here's Allen into the front court as the Cobblers trail. Isler on the left elbow, out to White. White around the screen. There's the floater. That is good for White.
You know the shot's going to be good if White hits the floor. I mean, you got to look at the science and the ratio of this.
8 points for Gilbert White Jr. 28-16, the Raiders by 12. 65 seconds to go. Green drives. That layup is no good. Isler the rebound. Outlet pass to Allen. Allen, in a hurry, jogs into the front court, top of the key. Picks up his dribble. They go to Isler on the elbow. Now the right corner. Soderlund drives the baseline. Back to Isler. He kicks it outside. Matthew, left side to White.
There's a chance right here.
Here's White around the screen, and we're going to get an illegal screen on Braden Isler.
Is that his second one? I don't think he likes it. He's talking to the coach, and
I think that's number 1 on Isler.
Oh, he wasn't the other illegal screen. Oh, no, that was Benbow.
That was Benbow.
Last
but it is number 2 on Isler,
Coach Hayes talking to Paul Whitcraft, and he's like, what's he doing? What they do is they stick their knee out. They try to get a little extra wide by sticking the knee out, and then as the defender goes around it, they get hooked with that knee.
36 seconds remaining before half. They work it in inside to Szymanski.
That's going to be probably Isler again. No, they're going to go with Soderlund.
That's number 2 on him. At the free throw line will be Dylan Szymanski. He's 0 for 2 in this contest. He, too, is a 53% free throw shooter. And the shooting woes continue for Szymanski. Misses that free throw.
I'll tell you what, we talked about this earlier. It's cost them in games early on, including some wins there. And that's probably what Coach Stater said. We just need to be able to knock down some shots. He's probably talking about from the free throw line.
Szymanski gets in the scorebook. He makes that free throw. It is a 13-point Raider lead, 29-16, with 25 seconds to go before half. Cobblers can hold for the final shot if they choose. Allen, top of the key. Trying to get it to Matthew. It's tipped up. Szymanski comes away with it, gives the ball to Green. 13 seconds now. Green, taking his time, gets into the front court, being guarded by Gilbert White. 5 seconds now. They hand the ball to Marcus. Marcus back to Green in the corner, drives the baseline into the right corner. Hawley shoots at the buzzer. It is no good for Hawley.
Wow, it's a great play, great look by the Raiders, and just, if the Raiders hit a few more free throw shots, this would be a much bigger blowout.
The Raiders outscore the Cobblers 17-7 in that second quarter to lead here at the break on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. At halftime, it's Rapid City Stevens 29, Rapid City Central 16. We'll step aside for 1 minute. The Consolidated Construction halftime show coming up when we return on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com.
Community banking should be kind of personal. That's because there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to you. Fortunately, Security First Bank gets that. And that means you get more, too, like online tools, in-person expertise, and tailored banking solutions for your family or business. So, from balanced budgets to bucket lists, we're the bank for all you're doing. Security First Bank.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region and state. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Dylan Kessler today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center.
And we want to welcome you back to Carroll Hire Gym right here on Fox Sports Rapid City with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickershamp. Welcome to the Consolidated Construction halftime show built by Consolidated Construction. From start to finish, Consolidated pledges a quality experience every step of the way. When it comes to your next big vision and project, work with someone that was born in the Midwest and has ingrained their business into this community. That's Consolidated Construction at onecalltobuild.com. Here at halftime, Rapid City Stevens again leads Rapid City Central 29-16. It was 12-9. The Raiders led by 3 after the first quarter, but again, the Raiders outscore the Cobblers 17-7 to lead here by 13 at the break. Again, Dean, you're looking at these two teams, it was a close ball game through that first quarter, but then the Raiders, they really started hitting some shots there, and the Cobblers they went cold there for a moment.
You know what, you kind of thought maybe both teams might. You got a bad quarter, that happens. Things just not quite following, what they need to be. You think it's going to kind of pick up in the next quarter and get rolling along. And it did for the Raiders. It didn't for the Cobblers. So, and right now, just the feeling you get for the Cobbler team, and I don't know how to quite put my foot on it. They kind of felt like they came out a little energized, and I think maybe when shots weren't falling, I don't know if they kind of went back to the way it was early on in the season, where you lack that confidence and you think, oh, this is not our night type of thing. It's something kind of an interesting, I don't know, like from a psychological science or something. You might try to figure something out like that out, but that's just the feeling I got. It's like they played hard and shots didn't fall, and then now their offense just kind of didn't really do much, and they moved the ball around a little bit, and they really didn't drive the lane that much kind of into the second quarter, and they just kind of went back to kind of a stagnant type of offense. So that'll be the challenge of Coach Hay heading to that locker room, try to see what he can fix out of that. For the Raiders, like you said, they kind of started heating up, getting what they needed, getting the shots they were looking for. I think it's probably directly proportionate to the Cobblers. Now all of a sudden, the Raiders are moving better, moving the ball better. The Cobblers aren't getting their defense to where they need to be, getting a hand nearly in the face. Again, it's amazing how it's just kind of, how lively they are playing and how you can just see it on the court, and you can't really pinpoint one thing, but you can just tell that the life energy that you expected, a tons of energy on all the players, an amazing crowd, rivalry game. You expect the energy level to be through the ceiling the whole time, and right now for the Cobblers, it's just not there, and unfortunately it was kind of that way last time that they played over at Howard Nas Gymnasium, so we'll see what kind of happens here in the second half. Again, here at halftime, Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central 29-16 in this boys game. If you're catching us on GoRaidersLive.com, of course on the stream, it is the drum line for the Raiders that's performing here at halftime. Let's take a look at today's box score being brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's most innovative event center, featuring the best courts and space to host multiple games. The Box is the premier youth sports venue in the area. You really need to check it out. But sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can cater and host any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live. Looking at the scoring first for the visiting Cobblers, again, the first time they met, they only had 4 players score the entire ball game. Right now, they have only had 4 players score in this first half, led by Gilbert White Jr. with 8 points, 3 points each for Junior Allen and Sean Smith, and 2 points for Preston Yellow. From the free throw line, the Cobblers are 0 for 2 in this ball game, so just not getting to the line so far in this first half. For the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, they have 7 players in the scoring column, led by Minka Holly and Daylor Segrist, each with 8 points. 3 points for J.D. Green, 5 for Lucas Marcus, 2 points for Dalton Samansky, and 2 points for Caleb Brooks, and 1 point for Dylan Samansky. From the free throw line, though, the Raiders shot 50% field goal percentage in the first half, but they were 5 of 13 from the charity stripe. Yeah, that really hurts for them to, like we said, that's been kind of one of the pieces, not the piece. That's been one of the pieces that's really hurt the Raiders in games earlier this season. It'll continue all the way until they get better at it throughout the year. I know you put lots of stress into them. It's a huge factor, and it's one way to take from an average team to definitely above average team. And right now, that's again, one of the things that's really kind of hurting the Raiders plenty on that. They've got 9 turnovers, so not the greatest of halves as far as turnovers go. We kind of noticed that, and the Cobblers only have 5, so that's not absolutely horrible. Rebounding is quite interesting, 21-10 in favor of the Raiders, but the shooting percentage just crazy, 28% from the floor for the Cobblers and 50% from the floor for the Raiders. Gilbert White Jr., 4 of 11. 4 of 11. He's 0 for 2 from downtown. He only has 1 rebound, so he's got the quietest 8 points you'll ever see. Only 16 points. Again, it's not, attitude's not the word I'm looking for. It's the bottom line. It's just intensity. It's just drive. It's just something we have seen out of the Cobblers the last half of the month or more for them, and now all of a sudden they've just, I don't know if the air got taken out of the sails on that loss to Spearfish or what it is, but they kind of came out, they didn't look decent early on, but since then they've really just, everything's just kind of gone downhill for them. They need to somehow try to recover for that. It's only a 13-point game. You got a long way to go. You got dynamic players, great guard play, who have kind of not really shown up a lot here this game. They really kind of need to step up.
Then let's see what we think both of these teams might do in the second half as we take a look at our coaching adjustments brought to you by Lee Cruz, your local New York Life agent in Rapid City. Lee is ready to help you and your family put a game plan together to secure your financial future. Don't wait. Take action today. And Google Lee Cruz, New York Life. So, Dean, what do you see as the big changes for both of these ball clubs in the second half?
Well, you would like to say the most simplest of things and say, well, the Cobblers just need to knock down more shots. Okay. Well, it's obviously a bit more complex than that. But for the Cobblers, I think they honestly need to drive the lane a little bit more. They've done a decent job in that little stretch that they've had with that winning streak. Even yesterday, a good job of getting to the free throw line. It really haven't done much today. I know Coach Hayes kind of complained a couple of times about a few of the calls, but in general, they've only shot 2 free throws. They missed both of them early on. That's just one of the big factors. The guard play, they can shoot, obviously, but they still do a really good job of just using their body, getting by the defender, getting in. I think they need to get like a 5-out type of motion offense, get everybody on the perimeter, do their best to try to get that lane open, drive it in. You're going to get defense is going to collapse on that. Kick it out, let your guys from the perimeter knock your shots down. They're 2 of 8 from downtown. I think they can do much better in that, and I think they need to really just spread it out and get that drive a little bit more. For the Raiders, again, they're doing a decent job, and I think a lot of that has to do with the way the defense is playing for the Cobblers. But again, they need to continue to crash the inside. I think they're doing really well in the rebounding, get them good second chance opportunities. Just 3 offensive rebounds. That's usually not super high, but they're getting in there. They're fighting really hard, and I think they just kind of need to continue that and kind of take advantage of the mismatches that they're getting against the Cobblers. And again, that's our coaching adjustments for each of these teams, brought to you by Lee Cruz, your local New York Life agent in Rapid City. Again, here at halftime, our halftime show brought to you by Consolidated Construction and Rapid City Stevens leads Rapid City Central 29-16 is your score here at the break. We're going to step aside for 1 minute. When we come back, we'll go through some scores for you, and we'll get you set for the second half when we return in 1 minute on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. You're listening to South Dakota High School basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center.
And welcome back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium here on the campus of Rapid City Stevens High School with Dean Kerr. I'm from Wickersham as we welcome you back to the Consolidated Construction halftime show built by Consolidated Construction. Here at the break, Rapid City Stevens is leading Rapid City Central 29-16 is your score. Again, here tonight, of course, it was senior night, but it's also white-out cancer tonight, where both schools, all the students, the fans, the parents, they've all bought those white T-shirts. They do that every year, kind of a tradition for both of these schools, and they are honoring two individuals this evening. I apologize, I did not catch the name of the cobbler who they were honoring, but I know Scott Sebo, who is a teacher at Southwest Middle School. They are honoring him tonight as well.
Yes, Scott Sebo, also a coach. He coached some of the middle school. I remember he did some of the boys. I remember him doing some of the girls and doing some of those games. And, hearing him out there kind of doing his thing. So seeing all the different aspects of Scott Sebo. Of course, I got the chance to work with his dad, Rick Sebo.
Oh, yep.
And when he actually moved back from Florida, we did a game together. We rode down together to Hot Springs and did a game, and I just had an amazing conversation with him, and he asked me, to pray for his family, and so it was just kind of my honor to kind of do that, as he's dealing with family, and of course that was well before they knew what was going on with Scott and his cancer, and so just to have that honor again, and now Sebo could always use our prayers, and as he continues to battle, I know he's a tough guy. I played against him playing softball and everything, so I've seen him all over the place. The guy's a battler.
This is talking about Taylor Segrist's mom tonight. Senior night was moved up due to Taylor's mom, as she has her own battle as well. And so that was such a fitting that they were able to move that up as she heads to get treatment and stuff. So we wish her all the best as well. That's Coralette Segrist. That's Taylor's mom. So we wish her all the best as well.
She was probably excited last Saturday watching Taylor knock down those threes, and I'm sure he wants more of that tonight. I think he's got one or two tonight.
He has one three-pointer.
One three-pointer, but again, just battling. He's been such an instrumental part of the team, and I swear we sing his name night in and night out as far as a factor as his ability. So obviously his parents, encouraging him, and so he's just kind of giving it back to his mom as she gets ready to head to, I believe, the Mayo Clinic.
I believe so. So again, a standing ovation here tonight. It's a rival game, but yet, right? This puts things a lot into perspective.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a humbling experience somewhat, and you realize that we really are just family. It's kind of like the Hatfields and the McCoys are probably all related, yet you still just want to battle the heck out of your brothers and sisters. That's kind of the most spark, if you think about it. It's kind of that way with the family at Rapid City Christian, with the dental and everybody, all those the brothers and everybody just competing against each other. Your family just brings out the best in you, and that's where the Rapid City family here and competing against your fellow brothers and sisters just brings out the best in you. Absolutely. Again, both teams now, they've done their tributes here tonight for whiteout cancer. Both teams are back onto the court warming up. Real quickly, before we step aside, we'll have the start of the second half in just a moment. But some other scores on the State Farm scoreboard. Like we said, 29-16, the Raiders lead the Cobblers here at halftime. Sturgis added a game, the boys basketball team. So the Scooper boys, they went to Madison to play in a classic over there today. They took on Vermilion, and it was Vermilion defeating Sturgis 67-47. Vermilion, a pretty good A team this year. Yeah, absolutely. Getting them, we expect to see them at the tournament. So that's an interesting ad, but it's also, a tough game. You like adding games, but usually when you add one, you hope it's one that you can win. So it's a tough one there for Scoops. O'Gorman defeats Pierce 67-63. It was Sioux Falls Jefferson defeating Sioux Falls Roosevelt by 58-57. Sioux Falls Lincoln, the top-ranked team in Class AA boys, they are all over T area tonight, 52-18. Can anyone slow down the Lincoln Patriots? Oh my gosh! And we're not going to see the Patriots until the end of the season. And they're just dynamite. We knew they had tons of athletes. They had it in football. They got it in basketball. And how about that Sioux Falls West Side rivalry? 58-57 players that kind of hang out with each other and everything on the west side of Sioux Falls, and just probably what a huge battle that was. Also, some other boys scores real quickly. South O'Brien, Iowa defeats Dakota Tech 66-43. Mill City gets by Elcester Hudson 61-51 was the final there. If we have any other, looks like with under 1 minute left, Lee Deadwood leading Hot Springs 57-47. So just some scores we wanted to go through real quickly. Again, we're going to step aside for 30 seconds as we wrap up our consolidated construction halftime show. When we come back, the start of the second half right here in 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid.
Belly Brothers Auto Tech is the bark of the town. Belly Brothers is one of the top-rated local auto shops in South Dakota. From an oil change to transmission repairs, they'll treat your car with exceptional service at reasonable rates, with plenty of financing options also available. Holding an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau since 2008, Belly Brothers will get your tail wagging. And visit Jennifer Young next door for your tax accounting needs.
And we want to welcome you back here to Carroll Hire Gym to the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail broadcast booth. Sales, service, and recreation. Raider basketball to start this second half, going from right to left now. Here's J.D. Green. They work it around. They're going to go to Holly. Now back to Green. Green's going to shoot the three. That one off the mark. No good. Preston Yellow grabs the rebound. Yellow to Junior Allen. He'll set it up for the Cobblers, going from left to right. Here's Allen in the front court. Hands it off to Yellow. Yellow around the screen. And we're going to get a foul. Looks like a pushing foul against the Raiders. It is, I think, they hit Duran. A little cup check there for Duran there. That's the first on Seagrass, first team foul this quarter. Here's Allen on the elbow, out to White. They'll go to Yellow in that left corner, bounce pass to Finbo. Finbo turns, faces the basket, gets in the lane, gives it to Allen. Allen drives, the shot is up, bounces around the rim, no good. Seagrass stays it from going out of bounds, gets it to Green. And Allen drove that time, but he drove right into a double team and tried to get over the top of it. Here's Green giving it to Brooks, top of the key. Brooks bounce pass right side. They go to Seagrass. Seagrass to Szymanski. Szymanski to Brooks. Brooks, left corner. Holly's going to fire the three. That one no good. White the rebound for the Cobblers. Still a 13-point Raider lead. 6:45 to go in the third. Here's the floater in the paint. Nothing but net for Gilbert White Jr. He makes that look so easy.
Yeah, he does. And guess what? He hit the floor. I'm telling you. That's the secret. There's something about it.
That's 10 points in the ball game now. Here's the shot at the other end. Segrist hits the side of the backboard. At the other end, White drives, puts up the shot, misses the layup. Duran battles for the rebound. Keeps it alive for the Cobblers. They get it out to Yellow. Yellow on the wing, drives to his right, in the paint, puts up the floater. That one no good. Segrist the rebound for the Raiders. Outlet pass goes to Holly, now to Green in the front court. Green in that right corner. Green out to Holly. Holly directing traffic from that right wing. They go to Szymanski. Szymanski to Green. Green pump fakes, wanted to drive. Now he takes a step back. Picks up his dribbles. Right side, they go to Segrist. Segrist, with 6 seconds on the shot clock, gives it to Szymanski. Szymanski in the low post, spins to his right, fadeaway jumper, bounces around the rim, no good. And it is White with another rebound. White into the front court to Duran. Duran scoreless in this ball game. Left side to Yellow. Out to White, top of the key. 11-point lead. Here's White now driving, splits the defenders, and gets the layup.
Yeah, that's what he does so well. He can play through the contact, and it doesn't even faze him.
He has 12 of the Cobblers' 20 points, and it's now just a 9-point lead for the Raiders. They led by as many as 13. 5 minutes remaining here in the third. Holly gets it out to Green. He's going to shoot the three. That one bounces on the rim, no good. Allen comes away with it. He'll push the ball into the front court, and Brooks with the reach there. As he kind of smiles a little bit about that.
There was no doubt. He grabbed the arm of Junior Allen. So, yeah, absolutely no doubt in that. And
that is number 2 on Brooks' second team foul for the Raiders.
And right now the Cobblers, they need more contribution from people not named Gilbert White Jr.
Gilbert with 12 of their 20 points. White gets around the screen, top the key, drives on Brooks. Tried to kick it outside. Segrist comes away with it. 2-on-1. Segrist goes coast to coast and gets the layup as they kind of ease back from it.
Yeah, and TJ Hay wanted a big foul. He looked over. Paul Whitcraft and what? Nothing on that one? I thought it was a great play by Brooks.
10 points now for Segrist. Back to an 11-point lead, 31-20 on the State Farm scoreboard. Right side, they'll get the ball to Ellen. They'll go to White. White around the screen. Hands the ball to Ellen. Ellen down to Binbo, out to Yellow. Yellow in the paint, puts up the shot. No good, but Yellow heads to the free throw line.
You know what? In this past, 5 games or so, they have just done a great job of finishing at the rim, and even tonight they're just struggling. They can't get the jumpers. They can't finish at the rim. Again, with the attack, that's what we're looking for from the Cobblers. They're getting that isolated type situation, and you saw it. 2 possessions ago, Gilbert White Jr. had the ball at the top of the lane. Benbow was right in the middle. In games, seasons past, they would kind of sit there and not work it around and get a shot. White drives the lane. Benbow rolls out and clears the lane for Gilbert White Jr., giving him a shot.
Yellow makes both free throws. He was scoreless the first time these two teams met. Has 4 points in this ball game. 31-22. 9-point Raider lead. 3:53 to go in the third. Left side, Green the basketball, or Marcus. Marcus out to Segrist. Segrist gets around the screen, shoots the three. That's no good. Brooks the offensive rebound. Pump fakes, puts up the shot, and puts it in for 2.
And Duran was so afraid of the foul there that he kind of backed off.
4 points for Brooks at the other end. We're going to get a whistle against the Raiders.
And again, it's got to be your leader, your spark that jumps out to it, and that's what Gilbert White's doing right now. He is kind of turning into attack mode, starting to get after it. Now his team needs to respond.
J.D. Green with his first 4th team foul for the Raiders. Benbow in the low post, being guarded by Brooks, backs his way in, puts up the shot, no good, gets his own rebound, gives the ball to Yellow. That shot is no good. The ball is tapped. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay Cobbler basketball.
They've kind of started to pick it up a little bit. You kind of feel that intensity from them. Junior Ellen will trigger it in from the left baseline, gets the ball to Binbo, then to Ellen. He'll shoot the three from the corner, and it's good for Junior Ellen. His second tray of the game. And again, that's got to give him some life right now. 8-point Raider lead, 33-25. Segrist being guarded by White. Gets it out to Green on the wing. He's looking inside. Now they go to Holly, top of the key. Man-to-man defense by the Cobblers. Marcus to Segrist, left side to Green. Green out to Holly. They work it around the perimeter. Segrist shoots the three, and it's nothing but net for Taylor Segrist. Wow, right in the face of Junior Allen, and Segrist still having the hot hand. 13 points for Taylor Segrist, averages 15.5 points per game to lead the Raiders. Here's Gilbert White now. Gets the ball to Duran. Duran back to White. He's going to shoot the three to answer, and he does. And he hits the deck once again. He hits the deck, and he did a great job. I'll tell you what, Brooks did a great job of guarding him, but White Jr. does such a great job of finding a space. He loops back around and says, I'm wide open. Here's Brooks in the low post, trying to get the ball in yellow. Is going to fall over Lucas Marcus, but they collide. Yeah, Lucas Marcus had the original foul on Preston Yell, and then he just kind of fell over there. Again, 36-28. We're going to get the foul on Lucas Marcus. That is his first. 5th team foul. And Coach Staitner wants to talk about it. Yeah, he's going to talk about it. So we will step aside as well. It's a full timeout for the Raiders. On the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 2:09 to go in the third. It's Rapid City Stevens 36, Rapid City Central 28. We'll return in 30 seconds on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City, and also on GoRaidersLive.com. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreation. With Dean Durr, I'm Jerome Wickersham. 2:09 to go in the third quarter. The Raiders lead the Cobblers 36-28 in boys basketball action. Great crowd here for Saturday night. Of course, it was almost 60 degrees today, and it's a great night to get out. Yeah, you could be doing lots tonight. Thanks for even with the stock show being in town. Still a great crowd. Absolutely. We have Preston Yellow at the free throw line. He's 2 for 2 from the charity stripe tonight. Has 4 points in this ball game. That free throw is no good. He gets 2 of them. Yeah, he gets 2 of them. Everyone forgot that he hadn't even attempted one yet to get there. And we saw that in the night spearfish game. That girls' game. There was kind of an errant administration of free throws, and Yellow misses both free throws. Holly grabs the rebound. He'll give it to Green. Green to Marcus. Marcus being guarded by Caden Matthew, works his way into the front court. And it's a 10-second violation. And Coach Staitner not pleased with that. J.D. Green kind of stood in the backcourt here before he made any effort to get into the front court, right? Chance for the Cobblers to close the gap here. They go to Duran, top of the key. Duran pump fakes, trying to get the ball to the left side. Instead, Holly steals it, and he missed the dunk at the other end. Mistimed it there. A battle for the loose ball. Cobblers come away with it. And then Marcus knocks it out of bounds, but at the other end, again, Holly just mistiming the dunk. Boy, that would have really got the crowd going. It did, and I think it got the Cobbler crowd going the other way. But the thing is, he was getting chased, so he couldn't collect his feet to where he needed to get the maximum jump.
Here's Allen spinning in the paint, puts up the shot, no good. Segrist comes away with it. Segrist pushes the ball to Marcus in the front court. Marcus around the perimeter, gives the ball to Green. He'll set up the offense. Plenty of time for the Raiders. Minute 15 to go here in the third. They lead 36-28 on the State Farm scoreboard. Here's Green on the left wing. Green inside to Holly. Holly double team, bounce pass to Brooks, and he banks it in for two. Good job by Holly, again so athletic, to fight through all those arms just to collect it enough to get it to Brooks. That's 6 points now for Caleb Brooks. Back to a 10-point Raider lead. 50 seconds to go here in the third. Here's White. Being guarded by Green. Left side, it gives it to Allen. Allen hands the ball to Duran. Duran drives into the left corner. That's Allen for three. That one off the iron, no good. White grabs it, gets in the paint, puts up the shot. The basket, no good. But Gilbert White Jr. heads to the charity stripe for the first time tonight. There goes my theory. He hit the floor and didn't make the shot. Darn it. So it's not quite scientific. But either way, it's exciting. That's Taylor Segrist picking up number 3. And I'll tell you what, the Raiders did a much better job that time. White drives in, and of course, he's just a great athlete. He's going to make plays, but they force a difficult shot for him, which is hard to do because he can take the most difficult shot and turn it into something routine. But either way, they were able to force kind of an errant one. They still put him at the line, but it was not easy. Gilbert White Jr. makes both free throws. 38-30, the Raiders by 8 with 25 seconds to go in the third. Here's Caleb Brooks into the front court, picks up his dribble, hands it off to Green. Green top of the key now, down to 18 seconds. Green directing traffic, being guarded by Yellow. Green across from the scorer's table. Gives it to Holly. Holly works it into Brooks in the low post. He spins along the baseline, puts up a tough shot, no good. Duran the rebound. Duran trying to get into the front court and runs out of time there. Coach Hayes kind of okay with it, but I think Duran was looking for something to do with it and had nothing. That'll do it. That's 3 quarters of basketball here at Carroll Higher Gym on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. At the end of 3, Rapid City Stevens leads Rapid City Central 38-30 in boys basketball action. We're back in 1 minute with fourth quarter action right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, this is...
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Now we want to welcome you back to the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail broadcast booth, Sales, Service, and Recreations. We start the fourth quarter. Jerome Wickersham and Dean Gurr with you. It is Cobbler basketball, knocked out of bounds, though, by J.D. Green. 38-30, again, the Raiders by 8. 15 seconds gone by here in this first quarter. Junior Allen will trigger it in from the left baseline. Allen gets it into White. Now they'll give it to Yellow. Yellow to Duran, top of the key, drives to his left, gets to the elbow, sends it back to Matthew. Matthew to White. White, left corner. There's the three from the corner, and that one is good for Preston Yellow. Again, the penetration, they get the defense to collapse in a double team, and then you find someone in the corner. 5-point Raider lead, 38-33. Here's Seth Paul in the front court, giving it to Holly. Holly dribbles around the perimeter, gets to the wing, Passes back to Brooks. Brooks spins. Kicks it outside. Almost stolen. Green into the right corner. Pa's going to launch a three. That one is no good. Brooks gets position. Gets the rebound. Puts up the shot and scores.
He is such a huge factor because he can work inside so well as a big guy.
8 points for Caleb Brooks. At the other end, it's white to yellow on that far side. Back to Duran. Duran gets called for the travel. He tried to make his move there.
And Coach Hay obviously not pleased with that. Sometimes you never know. Maybe he's yelling at the official, but no, he was clearly. It's just, unfortunately for Duran, it's not his night. He's got 6:46 to go to try to kind of get things together. And, basketball is such a mental game. You got to get right back into it.
7-point Raider lead, 6.5 minutes to go in this contest. Here's Brooks, and we're going to get a foul as Duran tried to make the steal.
And he's definitely a piece of that puzzle that has come together as the Cobblers this year. And, what they brought together, what they brought up, they've kind of meshed together. And they need everybody.
Number 3 on Duran, first team foul for the Cobblers. Segrist the basketball. Gets it to Green, top of the key. Green to Segrist on the right side. Now they go to Holly in the corner. Holly wanted to drive the baseline. We're going to get a jump ball between Holly and Junior Allen as they were wrestling for the basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. Holly's smiling as he gets up, but he got the worst of it on that one as Junior Allen basically flipped him over his back.
And Allen's only 5'8". Holly is 6'4".
Right, so he just uses leverage as a wrestler, right?
Possession arrow belongs to the Raiders. There's the shot by Pa, and he knocks down the tray. Steph Pa for 3. Back to a 10-point Raider lead. Allen to Duran. Duran gets the layup at the other end.
There it is. Great attack right away. The Raiders' defense didn't set up, and they did a great little two-man.
First points of the ball game for Julius Duran. 43-35, the Raiders by 8. Just under 6 minutes to play in the contest. Pa around the screen, left corner, they go to Green. Green drives the left baseline, gets it to Pa, now he'll kick it out to Holly. Holly from the wing to Segrist, top of the key. Left side, they get it to Green. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Green, cross-court pass to Segrist. Segrist drives in the paint. Lost the ball, but a whistle against the Cobblers.
I'll tell you what, it was inches away from a steal and the other direction here as Gilbert White, again, does such a great job. He could smell the pass coming, got over there, just missed it by his fingertips.
And that's number 4 now on Julius Duran. 5.5 minutes left. Do you leave him in?
No, you got to take him out for a minute. He needs to be able to collect himself for a second here, and Coach Hayes is going to leave him in. I mean, he knows he needs his, quote, big guy in the middle to be able to do something. He can score, he can play defense, but now he's just going to have to back off.
Segrist is 5 of 8 from the free throw line now. And that gives the Raiders a 10-point lead once again. Here's a steal by Minka Holly. Holly driving, gets the reverse for the Raiders. They go up by 12. At the other end, this is going to be Cobbler basketball. Yellow drives. There's the scoop shot. Too hard off the glass, no good. And we're going to get a whistle against the Cobblers.
I think that's going to be against Gilbert White Jr., but how about Preston Yellow? What a great job. He drove, got cut off, and thought it kind of looked like he just kind of settled, wasn't going to do anything, spun around and drove the lane, had a great look at, a great opportunity there. Just could, again, kind of been that night for the Cobblers. Just can't finish at the rim as well as they have been lately.
Coach Hay of the Cobblers, he wants to take a full timeout. So we will take one as well on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agent Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick. 5:10 to go here in the ball game. And it is 47-35, Rapid City Stevens leading Rapid City Central by 12. We will step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening to high school basketball action on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
And welcome back to Carroll Higher Gymnasium on this Saturday night with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. Welcome back to the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Detail broadcast booth. 5 minutes and 10 seconds is what we have left in this ball game, with the Raiders leading the Cobblers 47-35 in boys basketball action. It'll be Raider basketball coming out of this timeout. Kalen Brooks will trigger it in. Gets the ball to Green in the backcourt. Green being guarded by Sean Smith, who's checked in, works his way into the front court. Green, crossover dribble. Now they go to Brooks on the wing. Brooks picks up his dribble. Being guarded by Duran. Passes back to Green. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Left side, they go to Pa. Pa dribbles around the perimeter. Minka Hawley trying to direct traffic. Oh, they said, get to the Seacrest. Here's Green now. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound grabbed by Yellow. And the Raiders trying to get the sweep on the Cobblers this season. They'll go to Smith. Now left side to White. White wants to drive. He got hit as he got into the lane, and his head kind of snapped back a little bit. J.D. Green kind of giving a little tap there. Hey, dude, you all right? Yeah. I'll tell you what, he does a really good job of drawing that. He uses his head really well, like literally. And Green got a shoulder in on him, so no doubt. But he sells that probably better than anybody I've seen on the court, at least in this game. Second on J.D. Green. Junior Allen will trigger it in. They go to Yellow. Yellow in the lane. Puts up the shot. It is good for Preston Yellow. And he hits the floor, too. Again, he was our player to watch. We need him, the Cobblers need him to really step up. That's 9 points now for Yellow. 47-37, the Raiders by 10 on the State Farm scoreboard. Here's Marcus in the right corner, dribbles out to the wing, now hands the ball off to Segrist. Segrist comes to this near side by the Raider bench. Cross-court pass to Brooks. Brooks, top of the key, drives to his left. Lost the ball off his knee. It's going to be Cobbler basketball. He's kind of pointing around saying, not against that, but I don't think people did what he kind of expected, so he had to kind of take matters into his own hands. Allen works his way into the front court. Gives the ball to White. White, he drives now in the lane, puts up the shot. That's no good. Green comes away with it. Right side, they go to Brooks. Brooks into the front court. Man, that's going to be an offensive foul on Caleb Brooks. I don't know if he tried to, what do they call that? They're trying to hook him there. Yeah, either way, nobody does a better job of drawing a foul, whether it's offense or defense, than Gilbert White Jr. That's number 3 on Caleb Brooks. Here's Allen looking inside, out. They get the ball out, driving hard to the basket, and putting it in is Gilbert White Jr. In the air, he collects the contact, plays off of it, and still has the presence of mind to lay it in with touch. 19 points. Here's Green passing it to Holly. The ball is loose. Green comes away with it. He falls down, and we get a timeout by the Raiders. I think they call a timeout. While Lucas Marcos is in the air, I think we might get a T here. We are going to get a technical there with some shoving there. We're going to get out. Things are going to start to get out of control here. Somebody didn't like Gilbert White Jr. Gilbert White Jr. might have pushed J.D. Green. He was right in the middle of the crowd, and coaches kind of collect things. Now, unfortunately, we had something like this in the junior varsity game. No technicals, but things got a little heated between a couple of players here, and now the officials are going to get together. They're going to talk about, is it going to warrant something more? They can easily upgrade it to something more. They're going to talk to the administrator. They're talking to Nick Karn. So we saw the motion by Joe Beeler for the technical. Right. It was, Gilbert White was right in the middle of the huddle of the Raiders as they kind of walked over there. I saw that part of it. I saw J.D. Green. It looks like he got shoved or something, is what it appeared. Yeah, I didn't see what led up to anything. I just saw him there, and I saw
and then I saw him in the middle of it, and then it is a double technical. So, they're going to call a double technical foul, which really the only thing is that adds to the foul count, and then that adds to a technical foul for each player for that leading up to the potential for something worse. And I know now they got to explain it to the Raiders coach, and because of again, usually in a fight or an altercation, there's usually not one innocent party. There's usually something that led from here or there or something. So they're going to do a double technical. It's a point of interruption wherever the ball was at the time when it happened, which was a timeout. It was Raider basketball. Yeah, so it will continue to be Raider basketball. Joe Beeler explaining things to Chris Stabner right now about what led up to this. And, we've seen kind of J.D. Green sometimes. He's had some technicals in the past. Nothing recently anyway. But, we've seen him kind of, not necessarily with other players, but he's kind of complained to officials sometimes, and they've given him a few technicals kind of over the, last year and I think early on in this season. But either way, cooler heads prevail. Coaches getting in and taking care of things, which is what they should do. But interesting to see how that's going to play out. Mm-hmm. We have 3:05 remaining. The ball is loose. Durant picks it up coming out of that timeout. Yeah, it was Gilbert White Jr. who knocked it away from J.D. Green. Left side, they go to yellow. He'll give the ball to White. White drives in the paint, lost the ball. It was stripped out of the hands of White. Yeah, that was Brooks who just stuck his hand in. He was the tag defender on that and just said, hey, you're going to go right by me? I'm just going to try to swat it. Here's Brooks, and now Duran gets the steal for the Cobblers. Gets into the front court, drives, puts up the shot, no good. There's Sean Smith there with the tap for two. That's a great follow. We see J.D. Green do this all the time. He'll try to cut in front of it. Try not to foul, but he'll cut in front, try to alter things. 2:24 to go, 47-41. The Raiders by 6. We're going to get a foul. This is a bump by the Cobblers. It might be on Duran. We'll see. 23. It is number 5 on Duran. No, for Duran, it looked like Duran is done. He finishes the evening with just 2 points. Yeah, he just, and he had minimal impact tonight. Probably not nearly as much as the Cobblers were hoping to get out of him tonight. But, he's definitely part of the equation. So now they have to kind of play a little smaller, so to speak. So at the free throw line is Kalen Brooks. Maybe Benbow or Caden Matthew might kind of step in for him, but he's going to go with a really small lineup. Small, very guard-heavy lineup. They're small but quick. Small but quick, yep. So obviously he needs scores in there because they're down to, 2:20 left. Looks like all guards in there. 5 guards to see what Coach Hay can do with it. Brooks makes 1 of 2 free throws. He has 9 points. It's a 7-point Raider lead, 48-41. Here's a steal by J.D. Green. Yeah, it was a miscommunication, and Gilbert White Jr. knocks it out. The ball is loose, picked up by the Cobblers. So they get it back. Here's quick hands. Here's Yellow to Smith. Left side, they go to Allen. Allen, left side, back to Soderlund. Soderlund lost his defender, fadeaway jumper, no good, but we're going to get a whistle. He's going to get shoved. Soderlund, we don't hardly ever see him in the game. Don't. And now all of a sudden he's kind of an important factor right now. Got to be able to knock down a couple of free throw shots. And that's number 4 on Taylor Segrist. So foul issues there. I think Coach Stabner wants a double dribble on someone. I see J.D. Green sharing his opinion with Alan Schmaltz about he thinks Gilbert White Jr. knocked his hand out. So, again, game management, such a huge part of the officiating crew and how you handle coaches and players and et cetera. J.D. Green will exit as Seth Paugh comes in. Second free throw is good for Soderlund, so he gets 1 of 2. 6-point Raider lead, 48-42, a minute 50 to go in the ball game. Brooks into the front court for the Raiders. Raiders with the lead. They give it to Segrist. Segrist spins, being guarded by White. Back to Brooks on the left wing. 20 seconds on the shot clock. He'll give it to Holly. Holly in front of the bench there.
drives to his right, being guarded by Allen. Holly, pump fakes, had the ball knocked out of his hands. It's going to be a jump ball between Marcus and Soderlund.
Yep, kind of two hands in there. You know, of course, every coach wants their call their way. I think Stabler was pointing us. I don't know what he was, looking as far as like somebody was grabbing somebody. I don't know. There were a lot of hands grabbing that ball.
6-point Raider lead. Cobblers, though, with the basketball. 1:15 to go. White the basketball. Shoots the three. It is no good. A battle for the rebound. Marcus comes away with it, and a whistle against the Cobblers.
We're going to be back to shooting some free throws here for the Cobblers or for the Raiders, rather.
Preston Yellow picks up his third. That will send Lucas Marcus to the free throw line for the first time tonight, and he is a 50% free throw shooter.
I kind of felt like it was going to be like White time right here. White out night. He was going to step back, cash in that big three. The crowd's going to erupt, and unfortunately, kind of been that night for White. He's had, he's got quite a few points, but I think he's had kind of a quiet amount of points that he's had tonight. It's going to look quite a bit, but
19 points on the night for Gilbert White. And Lucas Marcus at the free throw line, he makes both free throws. He has 7 points, and it's now an 8-point Raider lead, 50-42 with 65 seconds to go. Here's Sean Smith, the basketball. Smith on the left wing, gives the ball to White. White on that far side, drives, puts up the shot, and it is good. He will get the basket +1.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, he saw the mismatch. Nothing against Seth Paul. I think Seth Paul plays well, deserves to be on the floor, but that mismatch out on the perimeter, nobody in the lane. Gilbert saw that. He said, I'm going to make a move. He can step by 2 or 3 defenders as how well he can get that first step and his second and third as he's heading toward the rack. So, doing what he does.
Chance to make it a 5-point game. It is, no, the ball is loose, so Soderlund picks it up. And then we're going to get a jump ball between Soderlund and Lucas Marcus.
It's going to be Raider basketball. Golden chance for the Cobblers to come away with it, and unfortunately could not corral it.
It'll be Raider basketball. Again, thanks for tuning in tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City as well as on GoRaidersLive.com. Here's Marcus in the front court. And a travel on Marcus. He tried to come to a stop and gets called for the travel.
Yeah, he kind of looked around. I think he expected somebody to be somewhere. You knew he wasn't going to go anywhere with it because he wanted to slow it down, chew up the clock, and then he stopped and must have just drug his foot a bit.
So we're going to get a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here. We have 44.1 seconds left on the clock. On the State Farm scoreboard, Rapid City Stevens leads Rapid City Central 50-44. We came into this ball game expecting a much different contest than we had previously when the Raiders won by 22, and boy, we are having a much different contest.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, I think the game could be a whole heck of a lot even better. Like I said, the Cobblers came out much better in that second half. Their intensity level was a little bit better. Not as good as I think it could have been, but they've been fighting. That's kind of that mantra that's kind of gone through them this season, at least the last month anyway. Right after they got done playing the Raiders last time, it's just that fight's been in there, and they still got it.
Here's Allen. He drives, puts up the shot. It's no good. Holly, the rebound for the Raiders. And a quick timeout by the Raiders.
Yep, they got plenty to work with here, plenty of timeouts to use. Again, now you've got about a second difference on the shot clock. They want one shot. The Cobblers are going to want to foul them here.
And Junior Allen, he saw a clear pass to the basket, but he just misses that free throw, that shot there.
I think the Raiders they've done a really good job of getting that second defender over there and forcing the shot up and actually not even fouling, just forcing those guys because they knew they loved to drive the lane. You watch the film, you watch the Cobblers play. They got at least three guards plus 3 starting guards anyway, who just love to just get in, drive that lane, and play through the contact. They've been finishing really well with it by doing that job tonight. Not nearly as well. Obviously led by Gilbert White Jr., but the Raiders have rotated over really well, said, look, I'm not going to foul you, but I'm going to make you force the ball and get it up over me. And unfortunately for the Cobblers, it just hasn't happened tonight. Caleb Brooks will trigger it in from the right baseline. Gets the ball into Holly. Holly is going to be fouled immediately, and we're going to be in the bonus the rest of this ball game. Is that on yellow? That is number 4 on yellow. Going back to the other end, it's Minka Holly at the free throw line. He is 1 of 3 in this ball game from the charity stripe. It's a 50-44 Raider lead. 31 seconds to play. Here's the first of 2 free throws. Good free throws coming up for the Raiders. Yeah, we've talked about it all night long about the woes of the Raiders and their free throw line. First free throw is good. Here's the second free throw. That one in and out, no good. White gets the rebound. Needs a big 3 here. They go to Allen. Allen drives, and he's going to miss the shot. Allen misses back-to-back layups. Yeah, and we talked about who's going to show up for the Cobblers, what they needed. We talked about Preston Yellows, our player to watch tonight. He was, somebody who's really started to have an impact on these Cobblers, and they needed all their players, all their big 3 or 4, I call them, tonight to all kind of step up. And unfortunately for Junior Allen, he's sunk a couple of 3-pointers, but just really struggled. What he has done kind of most of the season, at least most of this month, he's been able to finish at the rim, and just tonight just couldn't do it. There really isn't much of a defense. Szymanski got over. He shot the ball up over him. It just wasn't his shooting night, and really not much from really anybody else, unfortunately, for the Cobblers, and they really needed it tonight. Taylor Segrist comes back into the ball game. 51-44, just 20 seconds remaining. Green gets 1 of 2. He has 4 points in the ball game. Here's White in the front court for the Cobblers. Pulls up, shoots the long-range shot. That's no good. It's going to be Pa coming away with it. Gets it to Segrist, and he gets fouled by Smith, I believe. It is Sean Smith. That is his second. And the Cobblers, the Raiders, just 10 seconds away from getting the sweep this year over the Cobblers. As Taylor Segrist at the free throw line makes the free throw. He's made 6 straight free throws. Yeah, but there's no doubt about, you can talk about the Cobblers, and I don't think, obviously this will now be 2 in a row that they've lost, but I still think they've really elevated their game to that next level. But you kind of knew. You didn't think they were just going to all of a sudden start flying through the rest of their schedule. You knew they were going to meet resistance. They were going to be forced to play, push themselves to that next level. That's kind of where they're at. They hit that little plateau. They need to get up to that next level. Raiders in control with 7 seconds remaining. This is Sean Smith driving. Pump fakes, and the shot blocked as he hits the deck, but he gets helped up by Dalton Szymanski. That'll be his first. Heading to the free throw line is Sean Smith. Has 5 points coming off the bench tonight for TJ Hay. Kind of looking through the standings a little bit, and you got your top 4 teams. I think there's probably a solid 4 teams at the top, and then you've got the next, 10 teams. I think that could really, shake things up, going from 5 to about 15, kind of right in there. It's kind of right, if you look at things right about where the Cobblers are, and maybe the Scoopers right in there. And that is going to be it. The ball was tapped around. That's the buzzer. Now we are going to. Did we have a foul before the buzzer went off? Yep. So they're going to have to put some time on the clock here. Maybe at 0.1, probably 0.3. So with a foul on Jess Christensen after the miss by Sean Smith. That'll be number 2 on Christensen. Shooting 2 is going to be Gilbert White Jr. He misses that free throw. He's missed 2 straight now. He's 2 for 2 in this ball game. Hard to say with he have 19 points tonight. Well, he has 21. 21. It's hard to say with someone with 21 points had an off night, but you really felt like it just wasn't, he could have exploded for more. It kind of felt like that tonight. But either way, when that's your ball game, the Raiders get the win. They now have won 4 in a row. They go over 500 for the first time this season. So the final score on the State Farm scoreboard, insured by agents Scott Carlson and Matt McCormick, it was Rapid City Stevens 54, Rapid City Central 46. We are going to step aside. We will come back to wrap things up in 1 minute with the Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show right here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
When you ask for Black Hills Surgical Hospital, you ask for someone who believes in hospitality. You ask for someone who treats everyone like a VIP and believes the absolute best shouldn't cost more and makes you feel comfortable, even when you are vulnerable. You ask for someone who cares about the little things as much as the big things. You ask for someone who treats you like you are loved, because you are. Black Hills Surgical Hospital. Ask for us by name.
Shop the area's best selection of pre-owned Hondas and Honda certified pre-owned at Danny Menholt Rushmore Honda. Get financing as low as 0.99% APR on certified pre-owned Civics, CRVs, HRVs, and Passports. 0.99. Plus, shop a lot full of used cars, trucks, and sport utilities, including a great selection of all-wheel drive and 4x4 trucks and SUVs. Virtually any make or model, imports and domestics. See us at Danny Menholt Rushmore Honda or RushmoreHonda.com.
You're listening to South Dakota High School basketball on Fox Sports Rapid City, presented by Black Hills Surgical Hospital Sports Medicine and powered by Physio.
And welcome back to Carroll Hire Gymnasium on this Friday night with Dean Gurr. I'm Jerome Wickersham. As the crowd makes their way out, we had quite the round number 2. It was round 2 of the Rapid City rivalry. And it was the Raiders getting the win tonight over Rapid City Central. 54-46 was the final, as we welcome you to the Pioneer Bank and Trust postgame show. Pioneer Bank and Trust is proud to support our local teams, and they're your trusted partner for all of your banking needs. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local. Visit pioneerbankandtrust.com. So like we said, the Raiders get the win. They get the sweep over the Cobblers here in the regular season. 54-46. Again, the Raiders now go over 500 for the first time this year. They are 7-6 on the year. They're riding a 4-game win streak. For the Cobblers, they've now lost 2 in a row as they drop to 5-7. But, Dean, we were in store for a battle, and I think we got that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We knew that the Cobblers have really kind of elevated their game to that next level. They've been playing well, a couple of good wins, and unfortunately couldn't get it done Thursday night against Spearfish. But you knew they just had a tons of confidence coming in here. Unfortunately, they kind of didn't show it. Early on they did, and then that second quarter just was not their quarter at all. And it kind of felt like they just kind of drugged down. Yeah, and then got back in the third quarter, fought their way back into it, but the Raiders were game tonight, using kind of their big 3 tonight. If you look at it, if you're looking at the numbers, you liked it. 2 of them finishing in double figures. Kalen Brooks had 9, which is great. And then they were dominating the rebound department. Brooks having 8 rebounds, 5 each for Segrist and Holly. So, again, the players that you needed to step up at the right time for the Raiders did. Unfortunately for the Cobblers, they did not tonight. Gilbert White had 7 rebounds tonight to lead them. Junior Allen had 6 rebounds and only 6 points. You needed him to have more. Preston Yellow, you'd like him to have some more. You needed more. Julius Duran. You can't go away with a rivalry game, a hugely important game, and have one of your big pieces only come in. He got 5 rebounds, but only 2 points from Duran. So, all those things, you got to have your big players step up in big roles tonight, and Duran made a contribution, but unfortunately it wasn't nearly enough to help. And again, shots just were not falling at all for the Cobblers tonight. finishing 35% from the floor. Raiders finishing 46% from the floor. The scoreboard kind of told that those numbers for shooting percentages. Now tonight, you wanted something better for the Cobblers, but, unfortunately, just wasn't it. Now it's time to regroup, and you've got that murderous, I'll call it murderous, because there's a lot of tough games coming up for both these squads down the road in February.
Absolutely. Some crucial games coming up as we enter the final month of the regular season. Again, here in our Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show is Rapid City Stevens defeating Rapid City Central 54-46 was the final. Let's take a look at our box score for tonight. Again, today's box score brought to you by The Box. The Box is the Midwest's most innovative event center, featuring the best courts and space to host multiple games. The Box really is the premier youth sports venue in the area, but sports aren't the only thing they can host. The Box can cater and host any of your meetings, conventions, or receptions. To plan your next event, visit thebox.live.
Thank you.
Taking a look first at the visiting Cobblers tonight, led by Gilbert White Jr., scoring 22 points. He had 8 of those in the first half, but he finished with 22 points tonight. 9 points for Preston Yellow, 6 points each for Junior Allen and Sean Smith. And then 2 points for Julius Duran and 1 point for Logan Soderlin. For the Rapid City Stevens Raiders, again, 2 players in double figures, led by Daylor Segrist with 17 points. He averages 15.5 per game. So 17 points tonight for Segrist, 11 for Minka Hawley. We had 9 points for Caleb Brooks, 7 points for Lucas Marcus, 4 points for J.D. Green, 3 for Seth Paw, 2 points for Dalton Simonsky, and 1 point for Dylan Simonsky. And, Dean, I think you went through a lot of the other stats there.
Yeah, it was. And, again, we talked about, the points, the rebounds. It definitely in favor of the Raiders, 33-25. The Raiders had 17 turnovers, though, and that was Cobblers only had 11. But I think the shooting percentage is probably the biggest glowing number out there. And then the lack of secondary, what's the tertiary, production out of more from the Cobblers tonight.
And again, these two teams getting set to hit the road next week, as it does not get easy, as they will be facing O'Gorman and Brandon Valley, I believe.
Yeah, O'Gorman and Brandon Valley, and then Harrisburg the weekend after that, and then I'm not quite sure the following weekend. I think they got some local teams there, and then they get Lincoln and Washington, Lincoln, and then they get Lincoln and Washington to wrap up the season with that. So, yeah, it's a tough February. They got to be able to be playing well. I think the Raiders are, heading in the right direction now, and the Cobblers were, but again, I think they've just plateaued right now, and now they got to find a way to try to keep themselves from going down. They got to be able to play at that level. The O'Gorman Knights they're kind of part of that pack I talked about. They're not one of the top teams by any means. Brandon Valley is there, so but the O'Gorman Knights I think they're like 6-6 right now, so they're kind of part of that pack. Those are the kind of games you need to be more successful against. It's going to be the O'Gormans, and they got Yankton coming up. You got to be able to win that game. You got to be able to compete in the Washington game, in the Lincoln game, in the Brandon Valley game. You got to use those as springboards. Even if you don't win those games, you got to use those as springboards to give yourself confidence when you head into the SODAC 16 there at the beginning of March. They're in a spot where if they can have some success, they can be in a spot where they have they got a good matchup that they can win. I don't know if they're going to host it or not, but just someone where you can match up against someone worthy of it and get yourself into that state tournament.
Absolutely. So again, the final score 54-46. It was senior night tonight. The Raiders, they get the win over the Cobblers, and the seniors for the Raiders, they were all out there. They kind of did a group photo there to kind of finish the night off. They still do have 2 more games at home, but like we said, they honored all the seniors tonight for everything that they have done for the team over their career here at Rapid City Stevens.
Yeah, they have. You talk about Brooks and Segrist and Holly, and they've been a factor for several years now. And, other seniors have now kind of waited their turn. Now they kind of step up and having an impact. Both Simonskis, who kind of showed flashes of some good stuff. And
Jess Christensen.
Yeah, Jess Christensen. So they're going to need each of those players to continue to have a big impact, offset what the big three can do to help have a big contribution as they roll along through February.
So let's take a look at our highlight of the game. Again, the Highmark highlight of the game brought to you by Highmark Credit Union. Highmark offers Spirit debit cards featuring our local high school mascots on the front. And every time you use the card, Highmark makes a donation back to that school. Show your school spirit and open an account at Highmark. Visit highmarkfcu.com. This is our Highmark highlight of the game. And this game is underway. The tip's controlled by the Raiders, going from left to right into the hands of J.D. Green. He hands it off to Daylor Segrist. Right side, they go to Holly on the wing. Holly, back to Brooks, top of the key. Brooks picks up his dribble, hands the ball off to Segrist. He drives now left corner. Green fires the three, and that's good for J.D. Green.
What a great start. J.D. Green, he shoots a fair amount of threes, doesn't hit a lot of them, cashes that one in.
Junior Ellen will trigger it in from the left baseline, gets the ball to Binbo, then to Ellen. They'll shoot the three from the corner, and it's good for Junior Ellen. His second tray of the game.
And again, that's got to give him some life right now.
So again, a couple of highlights there. Two big three-pointers, one for J.D. Green of the Raiders, one for Junior Ellen of the Rapid City Central Cobblers. With that said, Dean, we'll turn to you before we wrap things up with our player of the game.
Well, it was the players that kind of really stood out tonight for each of these teams. For the Cobblers, it was obviously Gilbert White Jr., kind of doing a lot of it. It's hard to say because, like we said, he had a quiet 22. You're saying, Dean, how in the world do you have a quiet 22 out there? But there's always that moment in the game where he just kind of steps up and really just kind of takes over, and he electrifies the crowd. The rest of the team feeds off of that, and he just does some amazing things. Now, he did amazing things tonight. I don't want to take that away from him, but he didn't have that one moment. So that's why I say it's kind of quiet tonight. But either way, 22 points, 7 rebounds, definitely very good night for Gilbert White Jr., kind of what you expected. And tonight kind of belonged to Daylor Segrist. We talked about his 7 of 9 shooting three-pointers in the game against Brookings last Saturday. He steps up tonight, cashes 2 of 6 from downtown, only 2 of 6. He only got 17 points, but that's all right. He kind of really inspirationally led the Raiders and led them in points. Worked hard tonight. They needed, their bigs to step up. The highlight players, and Daylor Segrist is definitely one of them, and he probably was the biggest moment of them.
So that's our players of the game for both of these teams. Looking at the schedule again next week, we actually have the week off, Dean.
We do have the week off.
But for Rapid City Central, next Friday, they will be at Brandon Valley, followed by O'Gorman on Saturday, and obviously just the opposite for the Raiders, as they will be at O'Gorman on Friday night and Brandon Valley on Saturday. 2 big games for both of these teams next week before they come home to face Harrisburg and Yankton.
Yeah, it is. Like we said, the O'Gorman Knights are always a formidable opponent. Right now, I believe they are 6-6. Brandon Valley is one of the top teams right now in the state. One of those big. I think I put them at. There's like 4 teams up there. And they are going to be a tough opponent. So they got to be able to come away with, you'd love to come away with at least one victory, knowing you can kind of compete with those type of teams. And again, they're going to, both the Raiders and the Cobblers, they're going to have to play at that accelerated level. They kind of drop down sometimes and play kind of what you don't expect. You're expecting more out of them, and they just don't perform in those nights. It isn't like a bad shooting night maybe that teams have. It just kind of come out kind of flat and just don't give you what you're looking for. And they need to have that energy as they head to Sioux Falls for those 2 big games before they come back. A game that we're going to have, Harrisburg, just a lights-out team. That's one of those top teams. And they got to be able to compete at that level.
So, again, our next broadcast will be on Valentine's Day. Of course, looking forward to a lot of love in that game.
It's going to be a lot of love, I'm sure.
It'll be Rapid City Central boys and girls taking on Harrisburg. 6 and 7:30 are the games on Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th. So we'll have both games for you. And then on Saturday, February 15th, again, another doubleheader. The Raiders taking on Harrisburg at 1 and 2:30. So that's going to be our next broadcast. So we'll be off this week. No games coming up this week, but ready to jump back into the action with 2 doubleheaders on Friday, February 14th and Saturday, February 15th.
To rest our voices here.
We will.
Doing other things.
So that's going to wrap it up again right here on the Pioneer Bank and Trust post-game show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Again, we want to thank Matt Kearney back at the station, each and every broadcast for everything that he does. Of course, we say it every time, but we do. We greatly appreciate everything that Matt Kearney does. Again, the final score here at Carroll Higher Gymnasium in round 2 of the boys' game for the Rapid City rivalry. It was Rapid City Stevens getting the win over Rapid City Central by a final score of 54-46. The Raiders improved to 7 and 6 on the year. The Cobblers dropped to 5 and 7. Again, this has been high school basketball action on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City and foxsportsrapidcity.com, as well as on GoRaidersLive.com. For Dean Gurr, for Matt Kearney, I'm Jerome Wickersham. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you back here on February 14th, right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Have a great night, everyone.
Hi, this is Nate Brown reminding you to join the Nate Brown Show live weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. It's Rapid City's sports talk show and Rapid City's only call-in radio show with big-name guests from across the country to the local sports coverage you just can't get anywhere else. Join the conversation every weekday for thought-provoking sports talk. This is your show. Don't miss the Nate Brown